Guns inside my lungs. It's now 9:32 on Kiwi.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Well, breaking news this morning that Cadbury New Zealand and Fairtrade Labelling Australia and New Zealand today have announced plans for Cadbury dairy milk to achieve Fairtrade Certification by Easter 2010. This really is actually quite groundbreaking news because it means cocoa farmers and communities can benefit, I suppose, from this new arrangement, but also it sheds kind of a little bit of light on what's been going on in Cadbury over the past few weeks after the fuss that's been created about their new recipe where they went to palm oil. Now, a little bit earlier on this week, they sent out a release to say that, well, actually, no, they're going to go back to the old recipe, and now this huge step this morning to say that they are going fair trade. Well, joining us from Melbourne City, where he is today, Steve Knapp from Fairtrade New Zealand is talking to us about this issue this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Hi, Wammo. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Now, I'd like to say, well, did this announcement take you by surprise? But obviously not, because
not at all. I mean, I think the first thing to say is that we've been working with Cadbury on this for nearly 2 years now.
Oh, really?
So
that long?
It's not in any way a knee-jerk reaction to any of the things that have been happening recently.
But you've got to say the timing of this is interesting, though, because they have come under a lot of pressure, particularly about palm oil and orangutans.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we've been working on this for some time. I mean, the timing is, not the best of timing, really, and I mean, completely unconnected with any of the things that have been happening recently. I mean, we've been working with Cadbury on their cocoa supply chains for, like I say, almost 2 years. I mean, Fairtrade certification isn't something that's achieved overnight, and it's definitely not something that you can announce in a week. But we've been working on it for a long time now.
If you have been talking to them, though, for a long time, surely at some stage when they announced that they were going to start using palm oil, in those back boardroom meetings, you must have said to them, oh, hang on, sure, we can sort out the cocoa side of things, but this palm oil thing, not so sure about that.
I mean, definitely, we're really pleased with the move that Cadbury have made to go back to the old recipe. And I think that as a reaction to consumer pressure in New Zealand, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think that power of consumers is something that Fairtrade is. I mean, that's what Fairtrade's all about. I mean, people go out, they buy Fairtrade products, products with the Fairtrade label on, and it's that consumer demand and that consumer pressure, which are the things that are moving companies like Cadbury in the direction of gaining Fairtrade certification and using that through their supply chain.
But was palm oil a deal breaker? I mean, could you have given them certification if they had kept with the palm oil recipe?
I mean, Fairtrade doesn't certify palm oil. It's not one of the products that we work with.
So you could have gone with certification with the palm oil.
I mean, we're really pleased that the palm oil's come out. I mean, and from our perspective, if the amount of vegetable oil that's being used in the product is reduced, then that means that the cocoa content increases, which means it further benefits to cocoa producers. And I mean, let's not forget the move that they're making. I mean, in order to get Fairtrade certification on Cadbury dairy milk, they're committing to purchasing several thousand tons of Fairtrade certified cocoa from Ghana, and the additional premiums there means that at least $500,000 will flow into poor and disadvantaged cocoa farming communities in Ghana in just the first year. And I mean, this is going to continue year on year as the sales of Cadbury dairy milk continue, and also as they look for further Fairtrade certification across other products within their range.
Is this for the Australian and New Zealand recipes? It's not worldwide yet?
Fairtrade certified Cadbury dairy milk went on the shelves in the UK just a few weeks ago.
Huh.
That was the first place it's been available. This is for Australia and New Zealand that we're announcing today. Also announced today is a similar commitment in Canada and in Japan.
Yeah.
And I mean the Cadbury dairy milk that's produced here also goes to a number of smaller markets within the Asia-Pacific region. So, I mean, it really is increasing the availability of Fairtrade certified chocolate, not only here. I mean, New Zealanders will be able to buy Cadbury dairy milk, Fairtrade certified, in every corner shop. Basically.
Does it? Well, exactly. Does it mean though that Cadbury have to change the source of their cocoa, or do their existing farmers become fair trade?
The cocoa will come from a Fairtrade certified cooperative initially in Ghana called Kwapa Koku, who Cadbury already source from. So
okay.
They will be paying at least the minimum price and also the additional premiums. Cadbury also have an initiative called the Cadbury Cocoa Partnership, which is a £45 million, about $100 million commitment to support cocoa producers around the world, and the majority of that is going into supporting farmers and building their capacity in Ghana. But I mean, what's really quite exciting about this is that it opens up opportunities for cocoa farmers in this part of the world as well. So I mean, we're already starting to do some work with Cadbury, looking at Southeast Asia, Pacific origins of cocoa. So we're really excited at the prospect of bringing more farmers into the fair trade system, not only in Ghana but also in this part of the world. So we begin to spread the benefits of fair trade wider and wider.
Because as you say, Cadbury is a huge producer, so this is going to make a big difference. So at the moment, is there enough supply, fair trade supply for Cadbury?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons that we're starting just with the CDM solid, the Cadbury Dairy Milk Solid, is because of some of the supply constraints. But I mean, one of the things that this shows is that fair trade can really move to scale. I mean, this is the biggest sort of volumes that fair trade have done, definitely in this part of the world, but also at a global level. And one of the things is that Cadbury sees fair trade as an effective way of working with their supply chains to increase the benefits that go back to the farmers, but also the other parts of the fair trade standards that are important to them. And it's also a real indication of how fair trade can move from really quite a niche market. And I mean, we shouldn't forget the pioneers of fair trade, and particularly fair trade chocolate in New Zealand. Brands like Scarborough Fair that have been around for a while now.
Have you had feedback from those brands? Because they've really taken the corner of that market, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone that's involved in fair trade wants to see fair trade grow, and I mean, we're all in it because we want to see more of the benefits get back to the farmers. So I think as awareness of fair trade grows, I think that the whole pie grows, and the slice grows for everybody. So I think even though we've got other chocolate brands in the market, I think everybody's really keen to I'm really pleased to see the move that Cadbury's making. It raises general awareness about fair trade. I mean, it brings fair trade to a whole new consuming market.
Yeah.
And I think those people that are very loyal to the original fair trade brands. I mean, I don't think they're going to switch to Cadbury. I think what we'll see is that Cadbury will bring fair trade to a whole new market.
Now, I know it's slightly outside your mandate, but obviously this is a little bit more costly for Cadbury. So would you expect to see them raise their prices after this? No,
they're doing it at the same price. Same flavour profile. I mean, the price isn't going to change on the product at all.
Is Fairtrade looking at including palm oil type issues under their umbrella into the future? Because particularly now where it's also popped up the issue with New Zealand farmers as well and dairy farmers.
I mean, Fairtrade covers commodity products from developing countries. So I mean, the main commodity products that we work with are coffee, tea, cocoa, sugar, and then chocolate, and those sort of commodity products. Palm oil is something that we've avoided working with. I mean, it's a difficult product, palm oil. It's not something that we're looking at certifying in the near future, but it may be something in the long run. But I think there's a lot of issues with palm oil, and at the moment I think it's probably best avoided.
I know this might seem like a little bit of digging, but I guess the milk that goes into the Cadbury chocolate comes from the New Zealand farmers, which apparently are using palm oil products in their feed for the cows. So indirectly, there's a relationship going there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, the more you dig around with a product like palm oil, you suddenly realise it's in everything that you eat. I mean, I think to some extent Cadbury's been made a bit of a scapegoat on this issue. They're not a huge purchaser of palm oil globally. I mean, some of the other big food companies, I mean, are purchasing far larger quantities, and I mean the palm oil that Cadbury has purchased in the past has been through the Roundtable for Sustainable Palm Oil. So I mean they do their best in terms of their sourcing, but I mean palm oil is a huge product. I mean if you dig around a bit, it's in a lot of things everywhere that you purchase. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a great move. Cadbury is going Fairtrade, look to be certified by Fairtrade by Easter 2010. Steve Knapp, thanks very much for joining us and telling us all about it.
Thanks, Wammo.
That is Steve Knapp, who is the Fairtrade Executive Director, joining us from Melbourne there today. And time now is